Hello, I'm Rick Marks, and we're going to show you the motion controller demo that we showed at E3 with a few little extra add-ons. And we're going to show it in some more depth now that we have more time to talk about it. So here's our latest prototype of our motion controller. Still not the final design, but getting closer. And we're showing, again, you can see video of me coming from the PlayStation Eye. PlayStation Eye is just set by the TV. Should be kind of roughly torso height. Doesn't matter exactly. The system kind of can deal with that. And then I can switch into virtual mode, and you can see the controller move one-to-one with my motion in the video there. You see me in the video, so you can see that it does what I do. And if we zoom in a little bit closer here, I can actually show you even more one-to-one. You can see the video better and my motion better. So again, zoom in, zoom out. It's in 3D. So we get all the different rotation angles. You can see I'll have to show you the twist by going really slowly here. But all the different rotations and the X, Y, Z position. These are the kind of things we didn't get to go into in as much detail during the E3 demo. I can switch to a different object. So now I'll switch to like a tennis racket. And now you see the virtual tennis racket moves when I move the controller. And if I switch into a video view, because we have video of the player, we can actually overlay graphics onto the video. And because the object actually is being tracked by the camera, the way we overlay the video is perfect because it's using the video information for the tracking. So everything matches up perfect. That's why the tennis racket stays in the video just like that. Then another really neat thing about our system is it's an absolute tracking system. So I'm going to switch back to this mode. But you can see when I track, if I push the button here, a ball will come up out of the floor in the virtual space. Well, that exactly maps to a real place in the real world. And so every time I push that button, it's going to come up out of this place in my living room, for example. And you can switch to a different object. I'll get to the baseball bat, which is more my game. Oh, no problem. And so we had a mode in there for E3 that Anton forgot about, which is a reduced gravity mode, so you could get yourself a meatball and hit it. And this one's kind of neat too. If you switch into this mode, then it's like first-person mode. And when I hit it, oh, foul tip. Here we have the stop sign we just wanted to show because in the virtual world you see how it says stop and it's readable, but when you switch to the camera view, it's a reflection of me kind of. So the stop sign is reversed. Kind of subtle thing. And that one actually can be used to hit the ball with too. We have a very large sword, which all games should have. And this is kind of a throwback to an old demo we did with tracking with the ball and a chain. So the ball kind of has this mass. And here we can shine. There's where we're going to do some drawing later. Some painting over there. And there's the other objects. So you see the flashlight. It's really tracking me in position. So when I move in position, it actually knows where the flashlight is and it knows where it's pointed. So it has all the different information. And same thing for the gun. You can point the gun, shoot it, and also you can move around instead. And as you might remember from E3, you can switch into the first-person shooter mode. And then you can see I'm in that virtual room looking like out, just like out of a camcorder or something, and I can shoot these little virtual bullets. And the faster I move, the faster it actually moves me in the virtual world. We're really just showing capabilities here, and we expect the game developers to come up with crazy games that can use all this capability. And again, you can go into the first-person shooter again, see how good I am with this shot. Oh yeah, shot the eye right off the top. Okay, and so the very last thing that we made out of this is that we wanted to have a glowing controller with a handle, and we wanted to make something that would glow. So we made what we call the plasma whip. So you can reach back and snap it, and wherever you snap, that's where the whip actually goes. And you can extend and retract the whip using the trigger. This demo was actually intended to be shown 2 players, so I have Anton here. Hello again. So actually Anton showed this by himself at E3 where he had to control it with 2 hands, but actually it was really intended to be done 2-player, each one with 1 hand. So you can pick up objects and you can kind of do them together, stack them up. So this is like just a giant sandbox. You can play together and pick things up and do things. There's really no aim to this. It's not a game. It's just showing you that you can move things around and stack them and drop them. You can actually reach out and grab that camera there just to show you. You can kind of grab anything in the world, in this world. This is the dominoes demo, which is kind of another drawing technology demo, but actually lets you use drawing to kind of do more interesting things. So these dominoes we can just stack or lay out by drawing. The really neat thing that we didn't get to show at E3 for this demo was Anton actually added a whole other part to this demo, but we kind of ran out of time, and well, let's just show you. Here you go. So the dominoes can actually just rearrange themselves into these snakes. You have to switch sides. I'm supposed to be on the right when we battle. So you can see these snakes are made out of the dominoes we laid out. So we can actually duck in and carve around. And the snakes actually, you have full control over the way they point and the way they duck, but abstract domino snakes, you know, maybe you want something a little bit more realistic, so we can switch it to these bone snakes. And then if you know how, you can actually turn on the fire of the snake and tick, tick. One of the other things we showed at E3 was something like a real-time strategy game. So here we have kind of like pointers, similar like you might get from a mouse pointer, only we're doing it with the motion controller. And we get this absolute position tracking, so our cursors move where the position tracks. So we can start this demo up and our troops start to move out. You can highlight the troops, and then if you use the tick button, you can actually make them follow a path. If you circle the other guy's troops, actually they'll attack. Like that.
You can also just click.
You can zoom in a little bit more so you can see what's going on better. Yeah, you can also just click on the guys. You can do all sorts of things. But really what we're showing is a really simple interface for a real-time strategy game, which is traditionally very hard to do on a console game. But with this kind of interface, it becomes trivial, just like it is on a PC or something like that. One of the other things we showed at E3 was the ability to kind of jump into a tank. So Anton, if you jump into one of the tanks here, Anton actually will be controlling the shooting of the tank, and I'll be controlling the driving. So if I point a certain direction, it'll drive in that direction, and if he points in a certain direction, it'll shoot in that direction.
The drawing demo here, this is another demo that we showed at E3. We kind of went through this one pretty quick, but it was kind of a favorite for a lot of people, so we wanted to show a little bit more.
Now we have it working two-player also here.
A lot of people say, you know, you can kind of do this with a pointer or maybe some kind of other sort of interface, but it's a little bit subtle, but it's actually very difficult to write or paint with a pointer because it's kind of like drawing with a paintbrush that's the length of like a meter stick or something. So you have to be very careful with your wrist. So it's much easier to actually draw with position, and that's something that is unique to our controller. So you can also kind of think about it as drawing something with a laser pointer. It's very difficult. Like if you ever try to write your name with a laser pointer, it's just nearly impossible. But when you have position, it's much easier. Here we were trying to simulate kind of like a Chinese calligraphy. So here we use the position and sort of rough orientation of the controller to get a paintbrush-like feel. So you can really do these broad strokes and it will track you in a very expressive kind of way. So for this demo, you really also need the position and orientation, because when you actually spray, it matters if you spray to the left and it kind of is more blotched out, or if you spray directly. Also, it matters how close you are, because if you're too close, you're going to start to drip and your lines will be very small. And if you are farther away, you can kind of get a more broad stroke. It also matters to have a really precise analog control so that you can really control the amount of paint you can put down.